There are moments in a man's life when he wakes up and realizes that something simply must change, not externally, but internally, not the world outside, but the world within. And often, this inner shift begins with regaining control over the most primal force at his disposal, his sexual energy. Semen retention is not new. It is ancient, hidden in plain sight across traditions, scriptures, and warrior cultures. But its relevance today is more urgent than ever. The modern world has a way of pulling men away from themselves. Artificial stimulation, instant gratification, and overstimulation through pornography and casual sexual encounters had diluted the potency of masculine power. But a man who retains his seed, intentionally, consciously, begins to change not just his habits, but his identity, his presence, and ultimately, his reality. This is not about repression. It is about transmutation. Not avoidance, but evolution. Semen retention is a radical act in a world ruled by indulgence. It's a personal revolution, a reclaiming of sovereignty. It's the kind of inner work that changes the way a man walks, speaks, creates, and leads. It is, in truth, the starting point of a new world, a world shaped from the power of a focused man. Semen is not just fluid, it is force. Within it is the potential for life, yes, but also the potential for transformation. Semen carries nutrients, minerals, enzymes, and, more importantly, the subtle bioelectric energy that cultures like Taoism, Tantra, and Kundalini traditions have identified as life force energy. When a man habitually expends this force, especially through unconscious sexual release, he weakens his magnetism. His focus scatters, his ambition dulls, his discipline withers. He wastes not just a physical substance, but a metaphysical resource, one that fuels vision, clarity, confidence, and emotional resilience. Conversely, when a man retains his semen, he experiences a stacking of vitality. His mind clears, his gaze sharpens, he stands taller, speaks with more conviction, and his presence radiates a quiet, potent intensity. Suddenly, people treat him differently. Opportunities begin to align. His world changes because he has changed. This is not superstition. It's physiology, psychology, and subtle energetics all converging. One of the most profound gifts of semen retention is the transformation of a man's relationship with desire. Instead of being ruled by lust, he becomes its master. Instead of seeking release, he learns to contain. Instead of being pulled outward, he returns inward. We have been conditioned to believe that urge equals action, that if we feel sexual impulse, we must express it physically, immediately. But in truth, the greatest men in history, thinkers, innovators, warriors, artists, were often marked by an ability to delay gratification in service of a higher pursuit. The modern world has forgotten this. Holding your seed is more than just not ejaculating. It is training your nervous system to withstand intensity without losing clarity. It is learning to sit with discomfort and turn it into creativity. It is experiencing the natural generator within you and directing it where you choose. A man on retention begins to detach from the external world's demands for instant pleasure and becomes anchored in a deeper sense of purpose. He doesn't need to chase dopamine highs because he has become the source of his own energy. That's when his world starts to bend to his will. When you stop releasing your power unconsciously, the universe starts responding differently. Semen retention shifts your internal chemistry. Testosterone rises, confidence steadies, mood stabilizes, eye contact deepens. These biological changes ripple outward into the way others perceive and respond to you. But beyond the body, something deeper shifts, your self-perception. There's a certain pride that comes when you can look yourself in the mirror and know that you are in control of yourself, that you are not a slave to impulse. That alone is transformative. You begin to show up differently in your relationships. You bring presence instead of neediness. You express desire without desperation. You lead instead of follow. Women respond differently to such a man, not because of what he says, but because of what he emits. It is not about becoming better for women. It is about becoming true to yourself. Friends notice the shift too. Opportunities arise. Creativity blossoms. Ideas flow faster because your energy is no longer being squandered but stored and redirected. Your world changes because your energy changes. And energy is everything. Semen retention is not easy, especially not at first. The journey is not about perfection, but progression. You will face setbacks. You will confront your own patterns and weaknesses. You will be tempted, and you will learn more about yourself in those moments than in almost any other area of life. Retention forces you to face the void, the place where you used to run to distraction. In that space, you will either discover your inner fire or collapse back into old habits. But if you stay with yourself through the discomfort, something remarkable happens. You begin to forge willpower, discipline, and identity. The path to mastery begins by not wasting the very energy that could fuel your becoming. Men often wonder how to transform their lives, how to become the man they were meant to be. They think the answer lies in external achievements, status, or relationships. But all true transformation begins within. It begins with energy. It begins with self-control. And semen retention is the cornerstone of this inner architecture. The age of the unconscious man is fading. The world needs men who are awake, men who lead from alignment, who build from purpose, who create from wisdom. Retention is a tool for awakening that potential. It does not make a man better than others. It simply returns him to himself. But that alone is revolutionary. Because in a world that profits off your weakness, self-mastery is defiance. The man who retains his seed and directs the fire of his sexuality toward vision, creativity, discipline, and service becomes unstoppable. He is no longer a pawn of desire, but a king of self. And kings shape nations. They shape culture. They shape reality. To change your world through semen retention, you do not need to become a monk or suppress your sexuality. You need to become conscious of it. Observe your urges without acting on them. Meditate, work out, create, journal. When sexual energy rises, breathe deeply into your belly and redirect it upward through breath and intention. Channel the energy. Don't avoid it. Transform it. You can have sex. You can even enjoy pleasure. But shift your relationship to ejaculation. Make it intentional, rare, sacred. Let the majority of your energy remain in your system, working for you, not leaving you. Semen retention is not about denial. It is about prioritization. You are choosing to give your essence to your goals, your health, your craft, your mission. The world will try to distract you from that path. But every day you hold your energy, you build a world more aligned with your purpose. It's not that semen retention magically makes your life better. It's that when you stop draining your power, you finally have the energy, clarity, and drive to create the life you've always wanted. Your confidence grows not because others validate you, but because you validate you. Your purpose sharpens not because you read a book or watched a video, but because you have the energy to pursue what matters. Your relationships deepen not because you become extra charming, but because you bring presence, strength, and calm into every interaction. This inner shift becomes your new world. When you retain your seed, you retain your power. When you retain your power, you reshape your life. When you reshape your life, you change your world. And when enough men do this, everything changes. This is not just about sex. It's about sovereignty. Semen retention is not a trend. It's a revolution. And revolutions don't happen out there. They begin in here. With you. With your seed. With your decision to live on a higher plane than the world expects of you. The moment you choose to hold on to what is precious within you is the moment everything around you begins to shift. Change your energy. Change your habits. Change your mind. And you will change your world. The world you build on the foundation of retention, of power, purpose, presence, and clarity is a world worth living in. Your time has come. Join the Retain to Thrive Telegram channel at the link below, where we focus on building discipline, overcoming distractions, and achieving goals. Join the supportive community, sharing tips, motivation, and accountability. Let's grow together, one step at a time. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and share the video.